Hello and welcome to Quick Tip 31. If you've used the drawing objects on a chart, you probably will have come across this warning. It says caution, you have exceeded 5,000 text objects on the chart, etc. And then a little bit of more information down here. It says excessive use of these objects will cause slowness of your platform, etc., etc. So what we're going to be doing in this quick tip is just 3 ways that you can manage your text objects so that you don't get this message. And incidentally, I'm doing this in version 10 of TradeStation because there is a bug in the earlier version which reports that there are over 5,000 text objects when there really aren't. It counts ones that have been deleted apparently. So let's look at this this first example program that I've created, and I just changed it to 5001 there just to throw the error. I'm just gonna, or rather to throw the warning. Okay, so what we're going to do in each case is, and I've got some namespaces, got some variables. I'm not going to talk about those, just going to use them later on in the program. But at the end of a bar, the last tick of a bar, we're going to create a text label using this standard syntax. In other words, we create a BN point, a certain bar number and price. And then we're going to add the actual label text, which is just going to be the bar number to string. And we're going to color that. We're going to set it to persist. We're going to set the horizontal style. And then we're going to add it to the chart. Now, if we did that without any more functionality, then we're going to get the annoying warning and potential memory issues. But what we can do is we can look at the DrawingObject.Items for.count, and if that is greater or equal to 5,000, then we can go ahead and delete the oldest drawing object. Now let me just explain what this is items for. If we right click on this and go to the definition, you'll see that what this is doing is, I'm just going to get the object category, is finding, this is going to find all the text objects of a certain sort. In this case, we're adding the text labels by analysis technique. So I've used this number 4, and that puts all of these things into the format of a vector. Now to start with, what I did, I used temp vector, and I said that is equal to DrawingObjects.Items square brackets 4, and then I said DrawingObjects delete the temp vector, the element in the 0 position as type drawing object, and that worked quite well. But you can go further than that, and rather than create this temp vector, you can actually just go directly DrawingObject.Items for as type vector, the 0 element as type drawing object, and we're deleting that. So this works well, but if you had several analysis techniques adding text labels to a chart, then this wouldn't know the difference between the different analysis techniques. So that could be a problem. So let's have a look at my second example. Now in this example, we are using a vector called text label vect. A lot of the syntax is the same, but this time when we add the drawing object, the text label to the chart, what we're also doing is we're putting into our vector at the 0 position the pointer to this text object, or the text label that we just added to the chart. We're also printing a count. And then what we're saying is if the vector gets above a certain number, then we're going to delete the drawing object at the largest value from the chart. And if we just verify that, and you'll see that that is working. One thing though that you may have noticed is that even though we're deleting the text object on the chart, we're not deleting the element of the vector that we've just used. Let me just show you what I mean by that. So if we were to add another count here, and we'll say call this vector size, and the name of the vector again is text label vect. So I'm going to copy that. We're just going to count like so. So let's just going to verify that and look at the chart. And you'll see now that even though the count of the text labels is stuck at 5,000, which is what we're trying to achieve, the vector size has gone up. So what we could do, rather than just creating a larger and larger vector, is we could just add a begin and an end statement here, and we could simply just go dot erase, and we are going to erase the element that is in the 4999 like so. So just going to verify that again, go to the chart, and you'll see now that both the label count and the vector size is sticking at 5000. And as the program runs, what you'll notice is each time a new number appears here, and then if we were to go right back to the beginning of the chart, I'm just going to right click here, reset scaling range. If we go right back to the beginning of the chart, you'll see that the first 1272 at this point elements have been deleted as we added new ones at the end of the chart. Okay, so that is the second example, and I'm just going to show you a third way that you could go about sorting this problem. Okay, so in the third example, we don't delete anything. We simply, when we get to a certain number of drawing objects, we then start recycling the oldest one. We just change the value, change the position, and change the color. And what I've done here, rather than do it for 5000, I've just done it for 10 drawing text labels, just so that you can get some idea of how it happens. But we create the text exactly as we did before and add it to the chart. The only difference is we only do that when the count is less than or equal, in this case, to 9. That means that when it's equal to 9, we then add a 10th, and we add it to the chart, and we also insert it into a vector. So when we get to a point where the vector contains greater than 9, which means that it's actually got 10 elements in it, we can then go and change the value of the existing oldest text label. So we get that by looking into the vector, and we set bar text to point to this text label which was stored in number 9. We then kind of raise the vector element so the vector doesn't keep getting larger and larger. We can change the color, and then we can change the position and the string of the bar text. And then what we do is we insert that into the 0 position of our vector, or rather a pointer to the text label into the 0 position of our vector. So in this way, rather than deleting, we're just reusing the oldest each time when we've drawn the whatever number of labels we want to do. So if we look at that on the chart, you'll see here that we've got 10 labels, and we've got one here, 6266, and then 6275, and in a moment that's going to change to the this bar when it's completed will print will draw 6276, and this one here will disappear. So there you can see that the 6276 appeared and the 6266 has disappeared. Okay, so I hope you will find this useful. What I'm going to do is post the code on this page for Gold Pass members, and there you can play around with it and perhaps use some of these techniques in your programs. Thank you.